What is going on? What is going on, everybody? So I know it's been a little while since my last video. I did do the last one on the 3 myths about Amazon and FBA and that sort of nonsense that a lot of people think before they start on this glorious journey. And so I figured I would do more of like just the opposite of that, which is like 3 truths about FBA and what you can expect. And so I'll just do this video real quick. I think that's what I was going to mention, right? If there's anything else, yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to talk about. So the first big thing that I want you guys to understand of what is possible from FBA. A lot of people ask, oh, can I quit my job? Can I do this full time? Is this going to replace my income? First, it depends on what you do and what income you're trying to replace, right? If you're trying to replace a 6-figure income, can you do this? And the answer is yes. You can absolutely do that. I am an example of this. I used to work literally at the airport for TSA. And some of you guys know my story behind that. But you can absolutely replace your current job with an Amazon business, but you got to do it right. And there's certain steps you have to follow in order to get there, right? So you can absolutely do that. You need capital first to start off with, and you need to know exactly what you're doing. You need to know your product research. You need to know all of these things while you're starting out the actual business, right? The business is not going to build itself. So does that mean quit your job? No. It just means that you can replace the income eventually if you have a growing business, right? So that's the first thing is, yes, you can actually replace your job if you know how to build the business from the ground up and you have the capital to do it. The more capital you have to start out with, the easier that's going to be naturally, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing I hear a lot that is actually true is, that it is, all about, all you need is like one supplier, and you just, you find one supplier and, you're good for a while. And that is actually true if you have a big enough distributor and you have just one distributor and you have enough capital, you can consistently buy from a distributor that is providing you products consistently. So you don't need an army of distribution centers. You don't need all of these different suppliers. Suppliers just give you options. But if you have a really good option, you don't need to go hunting and spending all the time finding the suppliers. You just need a couple of good ones, but you only really need one, right? One good supplier that can provide you products consistently over a long period of time with good margins, good supply chains. That's really the most important thing. So you can do it off of one supplier. A lot of people think you can't. Yes, you can. The last thing that I would say, and the biggest thing, that's true about the Amazon business, is that it is truly a scalable business that you don't need to be a genius to run. People say that you don't have to be smart, you don't have to be, super creative to do this. And for the most part, that is true. Like, you don't have to be a genius to run this business and to make it profitable for you, right? As long as you can think outside the box, as long as you can just put in a ridiculous amount of work ethic, and as long as you can be resourceful, you can succeed in this business, guys. So it really comes down to what you're willing to sacrifice to get to the level that you want, right? If you're just trying to make 10 grand a year selling on Amazon, then you're really not going to need to sacrifice that much, right? So if you're trying to replace your job, give a better situation for your family, travel more, whatever the case is, that a higher level you go in expectation for what this business can do for you, the more you're going to need to sacrifice, or the more you're going to need to spend, right? Sacrifice might be time for some people, right? For some people, the money is not an aspect. They have the money. For some other people, it's the time, right? They either work too much, they have the money, but they don't have the time, right? So you're going to have to sacrifice something in order to get there, right? So whether that is taking more time after work to run the business or manage it in that way, or if it's, taking more money from other investments or other things to buy inventory, right? Or test out inventory. So these are sacrifices that you're gonna have to make, and you can make those decisions as you're scaling up the business. So just wanted to keep this video light, keep it short, everybody. The 3 things, and maybe I might do another one, but these are the most common that I get, and that is, yes, you can quit your job and replace your income with this business if you do it right. The second thing that I mentioned is you don't need all of these suppliers to be successful. You can have one really, really good supplier that eventually maybe replaces your other bullshit suppliers or suppliers that aren't really that good, right? So that is something that is true. And the last thing is that the business is possible. You don't need to be a genius to run this business, right? As long as you can think outside the box, you're resourceful, and you put an insane amount of work ethic behind it, you can do extremely well in this business without some, degree from Harvard or MIT, right? It's not necessary. You just have to be willing to look at what variables there are, right? You have to be willing to put in the work to look things up. Maybe buy a course, maybe invest into yourself, right? Like, if you don't go to college, at least spend the freaking $500, buy some course and learn how to do the basics, right? Or spend the time sitting on YouTube or Google and try to figure it all yourself. So again, those are the 3 truths about Amazon FBA that I've experienced in the past 7-8 years. I might do another quick little video on maybe something else related to this, but I just wanted to get that out because that's a video that I've been meaning to do for a while. And I hope you guys got some use out of that. If you like it, go ahead and leave me any questions you guys have, other video ideas you want me to make. Leave it in the comment section there. You guys can always reach out to me on Instagram as well. With that being said, I will see you guys on the next one.